All right, hey guys, welcome to Q&A plus our conversation on referrals. It's actually gonna be fairly quick. So basically, like,
It is?
yeah. First, like, what do you understand by referrals? Like, to you, what does referrals mean?
It means having some sort of system in place that makes it easy for the people that you're working with currently to give you a name or an introduction to somebody that they think that you should be working with in the future.
Yep, perfect. So basically, it's a way for like current clients or customers or readers to recommend like other people to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it's really interesting. Like I have like different kinds of clients, right? Like I have people like you who work with clients, and then I have people like Tessa who have like an audience of like hundreds of people, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The thing is, this concept can apply on both sides, whether you have an audience of like one or you have an audience of 1 million people, right?
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you like two examples on kind of like opposite ends of the spectrum in the middle, just so you understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for example, like let's say you have a huge audience, right?
Okay.
Do you know who AppSumo is?
Who is it?
AppSumo or Noah Kagan. He's
AppSumo.
Yeah,
AppSumo.
So one of the things they do is like they launch these like online courses, right? Like this one called Email 1K. And they're really smart and like, so this is more of a mass referral thing, right? But I want to show you how they do it because it kind of like gives you an idea of like how it's done in mass. So they have this course, right? And then you come in and you type your email. I'll type my email in. And let me in. And then basically they give me these options. Hey, before the course opens, share this with your friends, right? So I can click this and I can tweet, and then this goes out to all my followers, right?
Mm-hmm. But why would you do that?
Because they want me to recommend this to other people that I know, right?
But why would you do that?
Because I'll show you. Because they're like, hey, if you join the course, you'll get like something VIP. Right? So you can offer people something, but you don't always have to, right? Because in this case, I was like, hey, Noah's a friend, so of course I'll do it, right? Or like not a friend, or like someone I know. I shouldn't have said that,
right?
And then like I click like yes, take me to VIP, right? And then it's again, hey, click here to refer two people to get VIP access, right? So they have a click here button which just opens and like has an email compose window, and I just like literally have to like type someone's name and that's it, right?
Okay.
So it's like free email course. Hey, just sign up for this free course, 100% free. Shares the exact tactics. Check it out. There's a nice toolkit that has some good deals, right? So this is the reason they've like created this kind of like automation is because they're doing this with like thousands or like tens or hundreds of thousands of people, right?
Right.
And then it's like, hey, did you email it to friends? And if I say yes, here I get this VIP stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, I get access to this like Facebook group or whatever. So that's one thing. Actually, let me show you one more. Let me just remember what the post was. Tim Ferriss, Soma. So this is a company called Soma Water. That did a Kickstarter and raised $100,000 in like 10 days, right? So what they did is they also did referrals on a mass scale, but they made it way more personalized. Right? So let me show this to you where it is. They found the traffic, focus on the best media targets. And the reason I'm showing, by the way, like all of these different things is because like, I don't want to give you just like one specific way. I want to show you like different ways so you can figure out like which way is the best for you. Right?
Yeah.
So what they did is, so they did two kinds of referrals. One is they found people in their network, right? And they sent them like personal emails to get them to share it with their friends, right? So people who had big audiences, they did that. But for people that didn't have big audiences, they wanted to still like do something to get them to share. So they basically used landing pages to spark sharing. So they had like these kinds of like landing pages. And let me show you one or two here. Where what they did is they would include like a personal video message like this, and then ask people to take a certain action, right? Which could be liking one of their articles or sharing it on Facebook, posting it on Twitter, and stuff like that.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like a personal message on video,
Oh.
with buttons, right? So for example, you could do something where it's like, hey, for the 50 people that are like definitely going to recommend something, I'll send them like
Mm-hmm.
personal emails. I'll get on calls with them and all of these different things, right? But for the
Yeah.
100 other people, I don't have time to get like on calls with everyone. But maybe I can create one page which has like a message like this that
Mm-hmm.
they can then go through this video and then like just like click a few buttons and like maybe just share this thing on Facebook. And then
Yeah.
they can share like rising tide try on Facebook because their friends will see the company.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so because the thing is like you don't want to have the same way to ask for referrals for everyone, right? Some people like there's some people where I'm like I'll take them out to like dinner and like wine and dine them and then ask, right? Some people just like
Yeah.
"Here, just send an email.
Yeah.
Um, so does that make sense? It's like there's different ways you can do it. Um,
Yeah.
and basically like you can have like be asking for referrals from like one people or five people or 10 people or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically in between that there's a trade-off of like hustle versus automation, right? Like if you have mass people, you want to automate it, right? But if you don't have that many, because in your case it's like I think like what was it? I forget the exact number. It was like less than 200, right? You
Yeah.
could theoretically
Oh, yeah.
I will call 5 people every day. And how many days will it take you to go through all of them?
I mean,
What is the total number
just
of people?
I think of people I've ever worked with, maybe 150.
So if you actually call 5 people every day, you could go through all of them in 30 days.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure.
Or you like email
Yeah.
all of them like 5 a day, and then maybe one or two like actually want to get on calls. So you can like do the thing is like in your case, you want to automate it as less as possible and make it way more personal because you have that time and you don't have that many
Yeah.
people to go through.
Yeah. Agree.
Right? But you can still do an automation where like maybe you create one page on your site and like just kind of like have a video like this, and then be like, hey, I'm trying to like grow my company and whatever. Do you think you have someone or whatever? If yes, just send me an email and I'll give you a call and like I'll make sure it's worth your while.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. How do you? I've struggled a little bit with like, how do you know that you're incentivizing somebody like well enough, or what can you just ask them to do versus that's where I like this. I like having this resource because this is kind of it's a resource. Like, why wouldn't you do this? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when I've looked at, there's people that will just naturally refer. And
Mm-hmm.
I always feel like I'm not like compensating them enough for, because we've got like 3 people that have probably sent me 5 people each.
Right.
And then the other people, I'm always wondering, well, will they refer because I'm incentivizing them to refer? Or like, how can I just don't understand the climate very well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't understand why people aren't,
So let's come back to that. Let's first
Okay.
talk about how do we do referrals for new customers, right?
Referrals for new customers.
Like if someone ends up working with you that's new, how do you make sure
Mm-hmm.
people give you referrals?
Oh, like on upon onboarding kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like because the thing is like I said, like even with the testimonial thing, right? Like the person who isn't giving you one, it's fine because you didn't set that expectation, right? So one of the things you
Yeah.
want to change in your
Yeah.
business is like just make referrals an expectation. Like when
Yeah.
we started working together, I was like, hey, I'll need you to like give me a video testimonial if you get results. Only if you get results.
Yeah.
And now like
Yes.
anyone I work with like asks that question. And if someone says no, I'm like, you know what? It's probably not a good fit because I'm going to spend a lot of time doing this and I know how valuable testimonials are. So if I don't get that, I don't really even care because I don't need that many more clients, right?
Right.
So let me first show you like 3 ways, 3 ways basically. Like, actually, before I show you those, you said you went through that PDF, right, with the cloning experts thing?
I read everything in the PDF twice. Some
Okay.
of them 3 times.
So I'm just stop sharing my screen for a second so I can pull that up. But what are your general thoughts? Like, what did you like or dislike, or were there any ones that stood out to you?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, there were a lot. I like have my little list here. Okay, one of them I picked out and I sometimes just took like I read it and it made me think like, oh, this is how we'd apply it. But I thought of like special items that are only sent to people who refer, because our people they're so like on social media and they're posting. They always, if I send them flowers, they will post their flowers that I sent them, you know? So like some sort of special thing that other people would want that they only get sent when they refer, like a hoodie or, you know, something that's just for referrers.
And one quick thing on that is, so whenever you come up with a strategy, right? One of the things I always try to do is like, how can I achieve like 2 or 3 goals with one thing, right? So what you said is actually really genius because it achieves like 2 things. One, it gets you more referrals, right? And them getting the prize make them give you more referrals, right? It rewards people for giving you referrals. But what you just said is like, they're going to get it shirts on social media. So it actually becomes part of your marketing also.
Yeah.
So by doing that one thing, you're actually doing 3 different things. So that's actually a really good one. Just because it achieves like 3 different things.
I thought of another one that something reminded me of was like actually having a special event for referrers, whether it's like a special training or even like a special weekend event. Like, and I could see this being really big as we get bigger, that we have like refers only training camp for a certain weekend of the year. And you only get an invite to this camp if you've been a referrer in the last 12 months.
Yep.
So I thought that would be a cool one to put on the table. Let's see. I wrote down so many things like making sure that I put a referral card in all of our apparel orders. So I like do all the shipping when people order stuff, apparel on our site, which people like, they buy stuff, they buy clothes, and I should just have like a stack of postcards that asks them for referrals when I send out a shipment, because they're always really happy to get the stuff they ordered in the mail. And it would be a good time, like with that positivity, to ask for them to pop a name on a referral card and pop it back in the mail to me. I really like number 21, which is this guy calls people on their birthdays and he always asks them for a referral on their birthdays.
That's interesting.
I like that. Yeah. So it's like, again, 2 birds with 1 stone, because it shows that you like personally care about them and know their birthday. And then he's also, so it's kind of like double dipping there. Yep. Let's see. Number 33 talked about like focusing on the few. So I thought about that a little bit. Like, how could I focus on the few people who I know are already like really good referrers for us? And you would think like, oh, they've referred 5 people, so they probably don't have any more to refer. But it's the people who referred 5 people that will refer 10 people.
Yeah, they're the ones who have more.
Yeah. Asking the question, who would you like to see us work for? I thought that was really good way to just, when you're talking about it, like who in your life do you wish was getting the results that you are? Because a lot of our people are really like compassionate and they know that they're getting great results, and they have somebody in their triathlon world that they know is just like a really sweet little girl who's not making the greatest of progress, and they really kind of just wish that she's doing all the right things, but it's just a bad plan because she's got a shitty coach or whatever. Number 35. I don't know why this, like, I don't think I can run with this, but it's an interesting concept that you're about the only person I could ever bring it up to. But number 35 made me write down something to the effect of like the way you can get around when you're having a call with a referral and they can't afford you or something like that, to ask the question, name your price and we'll tell you how much coaching we can give you for that. I thought that was a really interesting, like, closing concept. If you didn't have X programs, like you could kind of use that to turn like anybody into a client by saying, well, like, name your monthly.
Was there a way to get referrals, or was it something else?
It was like, it came out of, I think it was number 35 on the referral book. Let's see if I can find it really quick.
Yeah, because I
But
still,
I like
I don't know
started that
how,
a million times. What?
I can't open the
Hold
link
on.
for some reason. So if you can open the link.
We have about 40, okay, Antenna Company. We have about 40 million businesses that started with referrals. We wanted to sell the top 20 cellular phone companies in the country. Each one had about 100 locations. We tried going to the 20 buyers, and I got thrown out of about 20 offices. So what we did is we went into their markets. First call, competitors had no problem. Second call, maybe they had a few. By the third call, I had listed 10 things. Every single branch of every single carrier wanted the same thing. So what we did is we went back, basically gave them what they asked for. Each one of them thought we custom designed a product based on what they told us. And what we did is we go in and say, here is the product you described. They would say, absolutely, then are so thrilled that they wanted to help us. When we asked them if there were any other markets where they might know somebody that might give me an opportunity to get my foot in the door, they'd give at least a list of names. And when we go there, they had already called because in their mind, we were marketing the product they invented. So I
Oh,
thought that was interesting.
I think that makes sense.
Like,
I would make sure like it doesn't get too complex, but yeah, that's a good one too.
yeah. Let's see. I wrote down some of like the good tactics that people used when they were asking for the referral.
Thing is, like the main thing was like your mind's kind of like starting to like think about it, right?
Yeah, and the last one I wanted to tell you that I thought was really good was having referral based pricing from the get go.
And how specific was it?
It was like when you're on the sales call with a person, you can say like, this is a $4,000 product, but we also have referral pricing, which makes it $3,000, but it requires 2 strong referrals.
Yep.
Not like wimpy referrals, like a definite introduction referral. And if those 2 referrals aren't given by the end of the contract, then we invoice you for another $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one too. So actually, I'll show you the ones I came up like that I use, or I haven't used all of them, but like this is what I've learned. And honestly, like then you'll take them and like you'll kind of like build your own, right? Let me just quickly share them with you. So this is not something I created. It was from the guy Sam Ovens who I told you about, but he basically has like 3 different ones. And first one is like his like what he calls is the ballsy strategy, right? I wouldn't use it yet. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like the ballsy to ask for referrals. He's basically like, as you know, the lifeblood of my business is referrals, and I pride myself on delivering great service and having clients refer me to other people as a special way of saying thanks. A condition of doing business with me is that you must provide me with 3 referrals as soon as you're satisfied with the work that I complete. Is this going to be an issue for you? So he's just requiring that in his business. And it's like, if you don't do it, you're not going to work with me. Like, it's not an issue for you.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one way you can do it. Second way is this one, which I think is a discount one, which is the current price I've quoted you is X. However, I like to incentivize my clients when they refer business my way. So if you're able to connect me to 3 people within the next month and they end up becoming clients, I'm happy to cut X of your bill. How does that sound? Right?
Yeah.
Which is what you were saying. One thing I would change in what you were saying is like, not just do it for referrals, but do it for like people to actually become clients. Otherwise people will just do referrals. Right?
Yeah.
And that's 2. Another one is if someone's like ready to buy us, right?
Is ready to buy the following. Okay.
So it's like, hey, and this is a good sentence to just kind of like frame it, like life.
Yeah.
You don't have to say the exact thing, but like modify it for yourself. Referrals are the lifeblood of my business and pride myself on delivering great service. I like to incentivize my clients to refer business my way, and I have a special program set up where I pay you $1,000 per successful referral. You can do it as many people as you like, and I'll pay you cash for each one. Are there any names that come to mind for you right now?
Yeah.
Right? So that's 3. Another one I'll actually tell you that was interesting that Todd actually mentioned at Basecamp was, I think he said he doesn't do the money thing because it gets predictable. So for some people, he just sends them like gifts in the mail. Like for someone, he said he just sent like, I think he's talking about like sending steaks and stuff, right? So
yeah, and he ups it every time he gets a referral. He like double ups it.
So now you can actually like split the people that you were asking, right? So like I think you said you have some people who referred more than 5 people, right? I would literally like today or tomorrow send them something in the mail, just like out of the blue. and be like,
Okay.
hey, thank you for doing this. I'm like growing my business. And like, I was looking at like, and I would do is actually like make sure they know what it's for. So say something like, hey, we've been like working on growing our business, and we're kind of like looking at the records to see like where everything come from. And I realized like you've sent so many more customers, right? So you're acknowledging what they're doing, which is gonna make them want to do it more. And just be like, hey, this is just like a special gift for you because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would literally send them something in the mail, like maybe like hoodies or whatever, and something else, just like right away.
Okay.
There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Right? And then for the other ones, you can do something like these or whatever, where like maybe people who like you think are good, like maybe you can do this one where it's like, hey, we'll pay you cash per successful referral. And I would look at my numbers and see like what number here makes sense. Like maybe 1,000 isn't too much. Maybe it's like 200 or whatever. Right?
Right.
Another one I want to show you is like this company Book in a Box. But they're way bigger. So they have this like ambassador program. So they reward people for helping your friends become authors, right?
Okay.
The interesting thing is on this page, they actually feature other ambassadors. So they're combining the concept of social proof to get more referrals. So it's like, hey, Lewis House is an ambassador, so you should be one too. Altucher is an ambassador, so you should be two, right? Like these are all famous people. Their ticket price is really expensive. Like doing a book with them costs like $18,000, right? Theirs is like, if you for every referral you get $2,000, right?
Yeah.
If you refer like 25 people, you'll get a free book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get the $50,000 from the $2,000 or whatever, right? If you refer 50 people, you'll get a round trip on a private jet, plus the $100,000, right?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
The thing is, like, if you refer 50 people, that's 50 times 18,000.
Yeah.
So that's 900,000, I think, that you've like given them in business. So
right.
That costs like
well, they're gonna send you and your friends on a private jet.
If you do like 100 referrals, you get a Tesla.
They're just gonna get you a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? If you do 250, they'll actually give you a percentage of the company.
Yeah.
Plus $500,000 in referral fees. If you do 500 referrals, you get a seat on their board, plus equity, plus $1 million in referral fees. Right?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if you give them 500 people, that's 500 times 18,000, which is 9 million in revenue. And like, so if you can generate like 9 million in revenue, of course you get a part of the company. Right?
Right.
So you can like also like stagger these things. So what I would do is I would like, the thing is like, a lot of these things, like taking something to the market and getting feedback is way more important. So again, what I would recommend is like, think of like separate out your referral list into two lists. Like, who are your top 5 people? And then everyone else. So the top 5 people, like, get them on a call, send them gifts, and just like whatever, so that you can start getting them to like, just show them you appreciate it. Because I don't know if you have done that before. And then you want to do it more. For everyone else, like pick one of these things that we've just discussed and just like start testing it maybe like 5 or 10 at a time. Like, and what I would do honestly is like I would call them and use a combination of this video thing where you tell them about what you're doing and how your business is going and stuff, and be like, hey, I stopped doing like the races to focus on the business. This is what we're trying to do, and like you've been a customer and we really like appreciate all your things. So we're just wondering kind of like if you can help us find more people, right? And then you can even say, hey, and also like we want to make it worth your while. So like for every successful referral, this is what we'll give.
Okay.
And then is a lot of companies like use like software. So this is a software that you can use called Get Ambassador that's used by a bunch of companies, right? But I don't like using software until like you need to. So right now I'll just do it even in Excel until you need to do something else.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because
you know how much this costs?
$200-$300 a month.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
So that's when you're pretty much really, you're really
actually
diving
sorry, it's $800 a month. Never mind, I was wrong. I thought it was $200-$300. It's more. $800.
That's for people who are like super reliant on referrals. Yeah.
And the thing is like you don't need it right now. It just gives you an idea of like what you can do, right? And so another thing I would do is, this is something I did, and this is how I didn't do it enough, but it got me some good conversations, and just like kind of like, even the fact that like if you like just get on calls and with people and talk about what you're doing is helpful, because you start talking about what you're doing and then you get better at it, right?
Yeah.
And actually, before I show you this email, another thing, remember when I was talking about how a lot of these like things like stack on each other? So what's going to
Yeah.
happen now is because you've done the work of understanding who your customers are, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you have these referral question conversations, you'll actually be able to be way more specific about who you're looking for. Because if you go to someone and be like, hey, I just want to talk to anyone who's interested, they're like, I don't know, because you're asking them to do the work, right?
Yes.
People don't want to do the work. So you can say, hey, I'm looking for people who fit this criteria. XYZ, maybe they're moms, maybe they just signed up for a triathlon, maybe they're like already worked with someone, like kind of like you can be more specific, right?
Yeah.
What I just started doing is like I last or 2 years ago I wanted to like get more clients, so I just started sending this email to people I knew, and I was just like literally like very simple. I have a random question for you. Hi and name. Hope your summer rocks so far. Just getting home from San Diego. Cool place. Question for you. I'm working hard on growing my business and wondering if you know of 2-3 people that I can help. I specialize in helping content publishers, for example, Andrew of Mixergy, grow their audience and monetize their content through Google AdWords, Facebook ads, and partnerships, right? If you know of anyone who can I be helpful, I'd love to do a free audit of their advertising to let them know how I can improve their results. Happily share case studies if you'd like. Thanks and hope you're doing well. And this email this email actually led to like one of my biggest clients right now, because he's like, have you talked to person X? I was like, no, I'd love to. Can you introduce us? He goes, show me how it will be worth that person's while. And then, yes, I can. And that actually kickstarted the process of like me getting introduced to like the biggest client I have right now. Right. So that's why I wanted to show you the specific email. So there's basically like two things. One is like start getting people for referrals, and like start just like having conversations with people in your network who you think might know the kind of people you want to work with. Because it will at least get you in front of the right people.
Okay.
And the thing is like,
Okie-dokie.
I would also like, what I would do is I would just sit down and plan on like, okay, I want to contact these many people. What can I do in the next 1 to 3 weeks, right? Because think of this as an experiment you're doing for like 1 to 3 weeks, and come up with a hypothesis. And I can actually help you come up with one like once you create it. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm realizing like in the actual program, I'll give you a hypothesis to test when you start doing it. So something like, hey, contact 5 people a day for 3 weeks, and then tally up your results, and these are the benchmarks you want to hit, right? Like let's say you like contact 5 people a day.
It's like a challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Challenge.
Right? It might not work. It might work, but the thing is, it's doing the most important thing, which is like you're talking to people.
Yeah, it's the trying that matters.
Yeah, and the other also thing is like because you're talking to people you've already worked with, it's going to be way less stressful than like doing sales calls with like cold people, and it will prep you for, like doing sales calls with cold people afterwards.
Okay.
So does this make sense? Like, do you have, like, can you make actions from this of like what to do for the next like 3 weeks?
Yeah. So I need to create a list of people that I'm going to reach out to, and then I need to kind of decide on maybe a couple little like paths to reach out to them. One being like maybe a well-crafted email, a personal call, something like that. And then I need to set a hypothesis, and then I need to crank through it.
Yeah, and I would like just pick one thing, right? It's just like, hey, maybe I'll offer them cash, or maybe I'll offer them like a bundle of like the, what do you call it, clothing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Just like something, because like, it could be wrong, but it's better than nothing.
One of my athletes actually, because I at one point, not long time, but like maybe 4 months ago, I sent in one of my Friday emails that I sent out, I just wrote something to the effect in there, because I do bullet points, like kind of how Todd does on his emails, like 1, 2, 3. And one of my little 1, 2, 3s was, I'm thinking about putting in place a different referral program. Is there anything that you guys would like to see or get from referrals? And I just threw it out there. And one of my really good referrers wrote back, and what she said, and I thought this was a really cool idea, is she said, it would be really cool to have like a list of things that we could choose from if we got a referral. Like, because some people already have all the apparel, and other people would love like an hour phone call with you, or other people would like to unlock like this special training.
How many How many people has that person referred already?
Five.
You know what I would do? So I was talking about like the ones who've already done well, like just take care of them.
Yeah.
I would email her back right now and be like, hey, what are the top 3 things you would like to see on that list?
Okay. She sent me the list.
What was the list? Can you pull it up right now?
Yeah, if you give me like 2 seconds to think. Gotta be in here. She doesn't email me that often, so it can't be that far away. Okay. Okay, that's May. Cool. Dang it. I searched her email and then the word referral. Oh wait, I think this is it.
Maybe search the word list.
Okay. Where was this? I've been thinking about referral incentive. My suggestion would be coach time / knowledge, as I view that as indispensable. I know both Tide and Wave athletes have coaches calls. So not just an extra call, but more like an extra special call. Skype call for a while on the trainer or at the track to view form and dissect the critical room for improvement on form, or call with Stacy to have a one-on-one conversation on nutrition plan, or a key post-workout call to dissect the data and how and what it means for future execution. Probably everyone wants discount or swag, but I really think getting insider coach information and or knowledge is massively rewarding.
That was the list?
Mm-hmm.
How much, like the 5 people that she referred, like what kind of, like what would be the number, like amount of business she's referred?
Well, I mean, like our average athlete spends about $5,000 a year with us.
So she's referred you to 25K plus?
Probably, yeah, 25K.
I would literally just, like, whatever she asked for, just give it to her right now. Without even asking her for something, just be like, hey, wanted to follow up. Like, don't even, like, if you want, you can, like, send an email, hey, I wanted to follow up on this. I want to give you all 3. When works best for you or something.
Okay.
I would just do it and absorb that as a cost of doing business, because the thing is, she's going to be like, wait, why are you doing it? And be like, look, I'm trying to, like, and then you can go into your story once she asks, right? Be like, hey, I'm trying to do this and we're trying to put all of this stuff in place because, like, and we're taking feedback from you, but you've been such an important part of the business, actually. Like, we wanted to give this to you right away.
Okay.
Because then she's going to be like, holy fuck, like, I asked for something and I got it. All right, let me refer more people.
Yeah.
Like, you always want to reward positive, good behavior from people.
Right.
So I would just do it for her. And maybe even, like, the other people who referred, like, because, yeah, like, if someone's referred you, like, 25K in business, it's a no-brainer, right? Because what is the cost going to be to you of all of these things?
It cost me nothing to call her. And, I mean, it doesn't, it's just my time. It's no big deal.
Time is the most important, but also, like, when you're talking to, like, about your most valuable customers, is the best asset you have. Because remember, Todd, that's what Todd defaulted to when he told him all the problem. He's like, I'm going to get on the phone and call people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, he knows that's the most valuable asset he has, yeah.
Yeah, so I would just do that for those people.
Okay.
So do you have enough to, like, build an action plan from this?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then if you build an action plan, just, like, send it to me. Like, I can critique it for you.
I will.
Because in the final one, like, I'm actually, like, realizing, like, should have an action plan of what to do in the next week or 3 weeks or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know how to build it. I just need to spend the time doing it. Probably going to do it on the flight back and just, like, put all of this together. Cool. So does that give you enough now?
Yeah.
And what I would do is, like, once you start getting, like, more than 5 or 10 calls with potential customers, right? Then we can talk about, one, how do you actually handle them so that, like, you're filtering out the people you shouldn't be talking to. And then once you put that system in place, we can talk about, okay, like, now that you're getting these from referrals, how do you actually, like, go to, like, cold stuff to get more of these calls?
Okay.
Cool.
Yep. Cool.
Any questions? Because I want to stop recording and then I want to show you something else also.
Okay. Nope. That gives me lots of action to take.
All right. So I'm going to start.